How is everybody? This is Shawn Stewart of 586 Sports, and in this video, it's been a while since I've done a video. I will discuss about the Week 2 college football playoff that was announced on Tuesday night. Now, before I begin, I want to make this announcement that I will be back doing a live episode of Safe or Trap this Thursday night at 7 p.m. Eastern Time on 586 Sports on this YouTube channel. Now, this time I usually do NFL first and then college, but this time as college football season is winding down, I'm going to do college football first and then NFL last. So starting tomorrow night live at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, I'm going to do survival pool of college football first and then NFL on Splash Sports because I am on a Splash Sports survival pool for both of them, by the way. So let your family friends know that Shawn Stewart is doing the survival pool picks because last week I did a pre-recorded because I had to take care of some business. It wasn't like nothing major enough like that. So I'm back on my regular schedule doing a live episode. So just want to keep you updated as well. And also, there will be a link to for new registers for Splash Sports and also a link for the NFL Survivor Pool, by the way. All right. So whether you watch it on your phone or your on a laptop, there will be a link, by the way. All right. So now that I got that out the way, I'm going to share my screen for the NCAA college football playoff bracket. As you know, this is the first year of the 12 teams. Okay. There we go. All right. So let's do it like this. Oh, let me get. Let me see. Nope. Okay, there we go. All right, there we go. I had a, I had a, I had to move it to a different direction. So now you can guys can see it. All right. So now we can begin. So as you're looking at this college football playoff bracket, so I was looking at this more than 5 times. Now I got to remind you that this is the second week. Okay, this is the second week of the college football playoff bracket. Now when I look into that bracket, I was looking this like, are these committee are really SEC and Big Ten lovers? Because I know they make giving them TV ratings and all that other stuff, but when you look at it, I do see kind of a bias, especially when it comes to the SEC. I know SEC fans are going to be so lost their marbles and stuff like that. Now, there are no undefeated teams in the SEC. Texas and Tennessee, both of them are 8-1. With Georgia, Texas A&M, Ole Miss, and Alabama sitting at 7-2. LSU is 6-3. Now, 6 of those 7 teams remain in the top 15 of the college football playoff ranking, giving each a legitimate chance to land a bid. So, according to Heather Dinch, she's a college football writer. She's a senior writer for ESPN. She said, quote, I will really hesitate to eliminate a 3-loss SEC team, she said. And she continued on and says, in the first 10 years of the college football playoff, there have been 13 3-loss teams ranked in the committee's top 10 on selection day. This has happened before, close quote. Now, Georgia, they have wins over number 3 Texas on the road this season. Now, their only losses have come from Ole Miss that happened this past weekend and Alabama. Now, this week, they're going to play top 10 team, not Georgia, Tennessee this Saturday. So no other college football team has racked up as many wins as Alabama, 4. That's twice as many as the closest competitor and more than the entire top 5 of the current field combined. So there are a lot of scenarios where we could see 7 SEC teams finish the year at 10-2. Now, one of those teams would then lose in the SEC championship. Now, if you recall last year, an undefeated Florida State team was jumped by one-loss Alabama for the final playoff bid, and it was like an uproar. That came despite Florida State having 2 wins over LSU and Florida. Both of those were SEC teams, and that eventually led to a lawsuit from the university. Now, let's look at Indiana. Now, this year, they're currently ranked 100th in terms of strength of schedule, and that might not get the benefit of the doubt should they falter over the last three games. Like BYU, Penn State, Notre Dame, and Miami could also be on the chopping block with a loss, making room for one of those SEC hopeful. Now, if Indiana right now, because right now Indiana is on a bye, by the way. Now, if Indiana wants to be taken seriously, they have to beat Ohio State at Columbus next Saturday. And if they do, that can help them be in the Big Ten championship as long as they don't screw up losing in the regular season of the Big Ten. And more than likely, if they were in the Big Ten championship, they were more likely to play against Oregon. So Indiana's big win so far has been Washington and Michigan. There's another team you can make an argument of. Let's look at SMU. SMU is disrespected, and this is the first season that I didn't even know that SMU. This is the first season that SMU's in the ACC, and they are the only team in that ACC that's undefeated. Now, if you look at SMU wins, they have beaten ranked opponents twice so far this year. They beat Louisville, which was 22nd 2 months ago, and on the road, and I was on the road, by the way, and then the home game against 18 ranked Pittsburgh on November 2nd. Now, Miami, which is fourth, they have not beat any ranked opponent this year. Now, the only thing they have done so far is beat their rivalry opponents. And I don't understand how their defense gave up 38 points to California. And I really question the Hurricanes' defense. It's kind of suspect. Now, SMU only gave up 30 or more points once, while Miami's defense gave up four times 30 or more points, the defense. And there's another one. Let's look at Army. They have a chance to be in the playoff run. Now, in order for them to do that, you got to go to Notre Dame at Yankee Stadium. That's next Saturday. That's a 7 o'clock game on NBC for those that want to know the time and all that other stuff. So not only you got to beat Notre Dame, you got to beat UTSA and your other rivalry opponent, Navy, and then you got to win your AAC conference. And if you do all of that scenario, hey, you can look yourself into going to the college football playoff. Also, let's look at Colorado. If you beat Utah this Saturday, along with the remaining games on the Big 12 schedule, and on top of that, winning the Big 12 championship at Jerry's World, don't be surprised that Colorado is in the college football playoffs. There's another team that's not been talked about, Washington State. Now, you can make an argument that Washington State can jump ahead of two-loss Georgia. And Washington State could finish the season 11-1. Now, the issue with Washington State, along with Notre Dame, they won't play 9 games against Power 4 opponents. But the difference is Notre Dame beating Texas A&M and undefeated Navy. Now, Washington State's best win was San Jose State. Let's look at Boise State. Now, last week you were ranked 12th. Now you're 13th, sitting atop of the Mountain West. Will give you an automatic bid as one of the 5 highest ranked conference champions. You beat Nevada by 7, but unfortunately the committee was like, that's not good enough. That's not good enough. Now, Ole Miss beat Georgia 28-10. That saw the Rebels jump over Boise State to number 11 in the rankings. Georgia slipped to number 12. But if the playoffs were to start today, Georgia will miss that cut. The 4 highest ranked conference champions across the football full division, or FBS, will earn a bye through the first round of the playoff, while the 5th champion will earn an automatic bid but have to play in the first round. The other 7 spots are filled with at-large teams. Now, if the playoffs were to start today, Boise will have to travel to Ohio State as a number, because Ohio State will be 5th, even though Buckeyes are number 2 in the rankings. Now, the 4 top conference champions filled with top 4 teams. Now, outside of winning the Mountain West, Broncos going to have to keep an eye on Army of the AAC, as Army remains undefeated at 9-0, but is 24th ranked in the college football playoff ranking. So the Black Knights have a lot of ground to make up. Okay, so a loss will likely. So if Army were to lose against Notre Dame, that will likely will drop the Black Knights out of the rankings, while a win will give them a massive boost if they go undefeated and win in the AAC, and they could grab that fifth automatic spot that will go to a group of 5 teams. Now, Boise cannot screw this up. Okay. So next up for the Broncos, you got to go to San Jose, and the passing game could cause some troubles as the Broncos will also have to keep an eye on BYU. Now, Boise State wins out and BYU does it, it could claim one of the 4 byes ahead of the Big 12 champion. Now, what we have to understand is this. Well, we as college sports fans have to remember that whether they expand the playoff format, whether it's football, basketball, or heck, even college World Series, there is no such thing as a perfect system. So you're going to still have some disagreements on what team should be higher or not, or what team should be that make the cut or not. Like for example, like let's say like you buy a car, right? And a new car, and you're like, hey, this car's nice, and you're testing it for like a couple of weeks, and then you discover like what's the ins and what's the outs. That's what I look at when it comes to the college football playoffs. And this is the first year they're actually doing 12 teams, because last year that was the last year of doing 4 teams. So we got to see like how the playoff plays out, because right now, look, we got to see what's going on, because we don't know what type of upsets that could happen as soon as this video is over, and who knows. All right, so there could be some upsets that's happening, and who could win their conference championship, especially in the mid-tier conference. So let's give it a couple of weeks, by the way. All right. So there you have it. There is my video. So if you do like what you just saw, make sure you like, comment, share, and subscribe for upcoming and future videos. And don't forget to follow us on Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn, Threads, and yeah. And also you can follow me on Instagram, X, aka Twitter, TikTok, and Threads at 586 Sports S. So that was a little short video, by the way. So, and I will post a bracket on Instagram, and I will post a short video of clips. Okay, so you guys have a nice, wonderful night, and I will be on the air tomorrow live at 7 p.m. Eastern Time on Safe for Trap. So I look forward, guys, seeing you there. So take care.